Good morning, YouTube. It's a very strange video, I know. I'm in the tub. Actually, let me get my hair wet. Here, I have bubbles. Good morning, YouTube. This is an extremely strange video, I do realize. The reason I'm making it in my soaker tub is because it's a little bit strange. My soaker tub is one of my greatest joys in life, and I'm moving in 6 short days and I won't have it anymore, but that's okay. There's more to life than one tub. I'm sure my new tub will be just as good. And what I wanted to discuss today was forgiveness, which is something I've historically not been terribly good at, but I went about a year ago. Yeah, it must have been exactly a calendar year ago in February. Well, it's March now. To Pendle Hill, which I'll put a link right there. Pendle Hill near Philadelphia in the U.S. It's a retreat center and a Quaker retreat center. And they have workshops. Sorry, this is really uncomfortable the way I'm sitting. They have workshops and retreats, and one of them was called Forgiveness, a Spiritual Practice. Forgiveness as a Spiritual Practice. And it was quite fascinating, and I learned a lot. And I really wanted to share some of what I learned with you guys. This is really funny. One of the things is that to forgive is not something you just do. You don't just forgive someone and then you've forgiven them and it's done. To forgive someone is a practice, and sometimes it takes a very long time, and sometimes it's something you have to do every day for the rest of your life, is practice forgiveness. And she gave us some techniques, and one is called the Hand of God. Actually, I'm going to rearrange things. Maybe I'll be back in a minute and see if I can do things a little bit differently. Okay, maybe making a... Maybe making a YouTube video in the bathtub was not such a good idea, but I'll just keep plowing along because it really is a powerful message I want to share. Okay, so forgiveness as a spiritual practice means it's something that you have to do, and a lot of people don't know what those things are that you have to do. So some of the techniques she gave us was something called the Hands of God prayer, which I'm not terribly into because I don't do God and I don't do prayer, as you may have seen in a previous video. I do Google, which I have a previous video on Google as prayer. My water is falling. Okay, so one of the things, the Hands of God activity, I'll call it, is to picture the person that you need to forgive. Picture yourself on the lap in the arm of God or Santa or whoever the hell you believe in, and asking Santa or God for the thing you want, the things you want for yourself. So that could be, happiness or calm, like a sense of calm, or think of the things. Well, interestingly, I just did a ceremony on New Year's Eve, astrological New Year's Eve, that involved death arrows and life arrows, and that was making little pieces of paper that have the things I want out of my life on the death arrows, and the things I want in my life on the life arrows. And then we went down to low ground and stabbed them on shish kebab skewers and burned the death arrows. And then we went up to high ground and offered up our wishes, our life arrows, to the universe, in the hopes that writing it down will make it happen. It actually came out of a book called Write It Down and Make It Happen. Anyway, that's a little sideline. So sitting on the lap of God and asking for the thing you want. So whatever that might be. You might want this to be a really productive year, or you would like to have a new sense of kindness about yourself, or whatever things you want for yourself. Then you picture your sworn enemy, or whatever, the person you need to forgive, and you picture them on the other lap, the other leg, in the other arm of God. And all you have to do is just wish for them exactly what you just wished for yourself. That's it. And the woman who gave the example used Dick Cheney as an example, which, as you might know, is the previous American vice president, who was basically Satan in skin and had done a whole bunch of horrible things to the U.S. This lighting is terrible. Okay, so that was the arm of God. Now, I couldn't do that one, so that night I went home and meditated, or back to the dorm room and meditated. And I came up with an alternative for myself, and this works a little bit better for a person like me. And what it was to, I pictured a nice, I just tried to picture somewhere where I ask somebody for something and I don't have issues regarding it. So for me, that would have been a store clerk, because I can ask a store clerk to give me an ice cream, or an ice cream clerk or whatever. And, I expect they're going to give it to me, and I'm not begging, and I'm not begging for mercy or anything like that. So I pictured myself at the ice cream store asking the ice cream clerk for a scoop of kindness and a scoop of compassion and all the things that I wanted for myself. And then I pictured what's his name, idiot boy out there, banging on the window, looking in the window of the ice cream store like, oh, I'm here, I want one too. And of course he doesn't deserve one, but I need to forgive him. And I just pictured myself wanting for him what I want. I wanted him to come in and have an ice cream. I didn't want him to be out in the cold looking in. It's, I think everybody should feel welcome, and everyone should feel included, and everyone should have at least, the same things I have for myself. I do believe that, and it wasn't a stretch for me to want that for him. I didn't really realize that that's the practice, that just that simple thought of wanting good things for him equals wanting to forgive him. That's part of it. That's a step in that direction. And that was the Arms of God prayer that I converted into the ice cream store meditation, and a step towards forgiveness, because forgiveness can't happen in a vacuum. It's something that you have to work on every day. I mean, the woman who gave the course said she's given this course in prisons, over 3 or 4 days, where these guys, a lot of the prisoners, have murdered someone. Like, the person that they need to forgive is dead. And or the family member that drove them to do it, or whatever, like if they had a horrid childhood abuse, they had to forgive, horrible things they'd done. They needed to forgive themselves. And she said usually within a few days there was magical progress made in these guys. And I felt very empowered by the end of that weekend. Not even empowered, released, I guess is a better word. I highly recommend. If you get a chance to take any of the workshops down at Pendle Hill near Philadelphia, the Pendle Hill Quaker Retreat Center, I highly recommend it. They're really, really powerful. Okay, I'm going to have my bath now.